Erika Kirk has been caught in a shocking White House Correspondents Dinner lie. While we're all giggling our tushes off over Katie Miller's press release on, I know it looks like my husband used me as a human shield, but he didn't, we're missing out on the major collapse of Erika Kirk's grift. Because what if I told you? The organization at the center of Erika Kirk's story has a financial partner, a very famous, very powerful financial partner whose involvement in the whole situation has not been reported on once, not once. And that partner published something publicly on their own website that connects to everything happening right now in a way that's almost, frankly, too on the nose. So Erika Kirk left the shooting in tears on Saturday night, saying she just wanted to go home.
I just want to go find
The internet had a lot to say about that. None of us have ever seen her go home. But by Sunday, she already had a media appearance scheduled. And look, that's weird. We can all agree that that is weird. But that's not why we're here today. We're here because while everyone's arguing about whether her grief was real, I found something in the public record that makes the grief conversation feel quaint. And it involves an organization you've definitely heard of. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. But we have to build because the context around this is everything. And once you see it, once you hear it, the document, the partner, the timeline, the whole thing stops being a story about a Grifton widow and starts being something considerably more uncomfortable and, dare I say, like dangerous. So give me 10 minutes, okay? And real quick, I'm Lauren Paritra. Willa Paritra will inevitably be coming running down the stairs with her ball, maybe. And we currently have a lead on Katie Miller, yes, the wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the user of pregnant wife Katie Miller for Human Shield, that guy. And we are almost at 1,000 followers on Spotify, and we're almost at 100,000 subs on YouTube. So we got to continue our lead over Katie Miller. Our lead, you and I, our lead on the Katie Miller pod can really never be wide enough, but help us hit these milestones because every action that you take, every follow, every sub, every comment, 6 words or more, every save and share, every little button that you press, consider that an FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller. So April 26th, 2026, lots of 26s. At the Washington Hilton, Cole Thomas Allen rushes a security checkpoint armed with a pew-pew, and knives. One Secret Service agent takes a to the chest. He's saved by his vest. Allen is later charged with attempting to the president. I was planning on having a normal evening watching all the clips. No, we don't get normal evenings anymore in the United States. So among the thousands of guests in that ballroom, lo and behold, Erika Kirk. She has now personally or by proxy witnessed 2 politically shootings in under a year, which is horrifying. And I want to be clear about that before I say anything else that I'm about to say. CNN's Sarah Sider catches her leaving the hotel in tears. In this clip, she says, I just want to go home. The clip goes everywhere. And the next morning, she posts this on X. Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence. I probably didn't need to bleep out that word, but I'm taking time to spend with my family. I will be joining the Charlie Kirk Show Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time to briefly address what took place. Okay, so she's spending time with her family by doing a media appearance, by doing a podcast. Those seem to be 2 different things. And the internet, as we do, we noticed. So this is where most people stopped. Is her grief real? Is she faking it? Your guess is as good as mine. But that's the boring version of the story. What nobody is asking is like, what exactly is she running? Where is this money coming from? And how is any of this legal? Put a pin in that. We're going to get to it. So in 2013, Turning Point USA had revenue of $79,000. Okay, $79,000. 79 with 3 zeros behind it. By 2024, they were reporting $85 million. A 1,000-fold increase in just over a decade. 99% of its donations, and those donations are tax deductible, meaning you, if you're one of those people giving them your cash, yes, you are subsidizing this whether you want to or not. The government forgoes the tax revenue. The public picks up the tab for this organization whose entire purpose is political. They are a right-wing pipeline. And then in 2023, Turning Point USA spent $91 million against $82 million in revenue. That is a $9.6 million deficit in a single year. Now, this is a lot of finance talk, but stick with me. Net assets collapsed from $23 million to $13 million right before its founder was, okay? And half of their 2020 income came from just 10 anonymous donors, 10 people. If 4 of them decide the new leadership isn't working for them, the math gets very bad for them very fast. Now, the organization reported $85 million in revenue in 2024, $4 million surplus. Sounds like a little bit of a recovery, but look where the money went. $80 million in expenses for a legally classified nonprofit educator. Buried inside those expenses, lots of first class and charter travel, flagged repeatedly across multiple consecutive tax filings. This was not a one-time oversight. This is a pattern identified in ProPublica, and they note it as a standing feature of their tax returns. So you ask yourself, is Erika Kirk doing that Wednesday podcast because she's just like a cynical grifter, or because the machine she inherited will start breaking down the moment she goes quiet? The answer tells you something much darker about this whole operation and how it works and who's behind it. But real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Brickhouse Nutrition. Everyone's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering your blood sugar and reducing appetite. So if you're looking to lose weight, but you're not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects, that's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it to energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Let's get you started with 20% off and free rush shipping. Visit takelean.com and enter Lauren for your discount. That's Loren. Okay, so this is where the legal friction starts to get a little frictiony. Turning Point USA is a 501c3 nonprofit, same legal category as your local food bank, except I don't think any of those people are chartering private planes and jetting all over the place. And the IRS is very specific about what that requires. Organizations with 501c3 status are absolutely prohibited from directly or indirectly participating in any political campaign. I'm going to say that again, directly or indirectly, or in this case, both. Turning Point USA has chapters in high schools. It runs the largest gathering of young conservative activists in this country. Its stated mission is converting young Americans to conservative ideology, and it created a sister organization, Turning Point Action, which is a 501c4, specifically to run door-knocking operations for Trump in Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So how is this C3 still intact? The IRS revoked a 501c3's political exemption exactly once in modern history. Once. The enforcement mechanism is decorative, and nobody in Congress has the incentive to fix it because both parties run mirror versions of the same structures. And you remember that document I mentioned at the top? Here it is. The official smoking gun. The official NRA ILA website, the lobbying arm of the National Rifle Association. They published this on August 18th, 2025. 3 weeks before Charlie was, their words, filed under their Take Action Grassroots Activism section. I start with quotes. In July, the NRA ILA grassroots team had the incredible opportunity to attend Turning Point USA's Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida, a powerful platform to engage directly with the next generation of Second Amendment advocates. We're proud to report that we signed up countless new supporters for our Frontlines Grassroots Alerts. We also welcomed many new NRA members into the fold. And then it ends with this. The future of freedom looks bright. August 18th, 2025. Charlie Kirk was 23 days later. They are openly describing Turning Point USA events as recruitment operations. Not for few owners or hunters or advocates, for political activists. Their words, they're catching young people at the exact moment they're being politically activated and converting them into loud, proud NRA members and grassroots lobbyists simultaneously. 3 months after Charlie Kirk was December 2025, Erika Kirk had the gall to take stage at the New York Times DealBook Summit and was asked about poo-poo violence and her husband's shorter and about the Second Amendment. And she says this, that's not a poo-poo problem. That's a deeply human problem. That is a soul problem. And then she said, I support the Second Amendment as well. Somehow they're going to blame it on trans kids and liberals, though. It's always something. The NRA could not have written a better spokeswoman for themselves if they tried. Spineless, will do anything for a buck. And they are literally paying for her conference. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So none of this is actually about Erika Kirk, the person, whether her tears leaving the Washington Hilton were real. I don't know how I feel about those tears yet, but it's not the point. The point is the machinery around her does not care about grief either way. The machinery cares about her utility. Turning Point USA collects tax-deductible donations to run what it has legally been able to call an educational program. Turning Point Action deploys those same young people as campaign workers for Republican candidates. The machine runs on your attention, so do the tax dollars. Again, I'm Lauren Paritra. Let us know what you thought of this one. Let us know if you want us to keep digging in here. We are fascinated by this tax situation, or lack thereof, I should say. And we want to hear what you think. So don't forget, subscribe to us. We are available wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're here every day, YouTube, Facebook, all the places. Sub, share, comment. As an FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bush Miller.